Well, the journey continues. Another day passed, another rank gained. We hit a 3-win streak in Diamond 3 to hit Diamond 2. The deck that we've been using is Floowandereeze. I have a deck list video I'll link in the description if you're interested in checking out this deck and some of the reasoning behind my choices like D-Fissure, Book of Moons, D-Shifter, DD Crow, and my ratios. So check that video out if you're interested. But for this video, we're going to take a look at some of the matches that I went through in order to hit Diamond 2. So let's go ahead and get into those now. Alright, to start things off, we're going to go over my rank up game. Thankfully, we were able to go first, and that's always a good sign. We don't brick, but we didn't draw any utility cards. We do have a handful of birds, and instead of going for the Stree, because it would be nothing to really run Stree off of right now, since there's nothing in either graveyard, I opt to pull out a second DD Crow, because if I'm running up against anything that isn't banish focused, the DD Crow will likely have some utility. Now that being said, a lot of the decks you encounter up here are either the Tearlaments or the Banish deck, so it's a complete hit or miss on what you're going to get. And this opponent is running Exosister, which is a surprisingly effective deck up here in these ranks because it can deal with Tearlaments and it also can help shut down Floowandereeze when you try to use like Stree to banish stuff. It triggers the Xyz of the Exosister cards. So you can see right here the opponent activated Martha, and we opted to chain the Dreaming Town, and the reason for that is because I wanted to actually use the eclipsing feature of Dreaming Town where you banish it and it flips all the monsters face down. This will prevent them from Xyz summoning with the Martha, leaving them on, having to normal summon, because you can see, well, when it's not paused, but you can see that they haven't used their actual normal summon for turn yet. The opponent is a little spicy. They do have a Book of Moon, which I have to negate with Apex, otherwise Apex stays on field and can get beat over. So that forces out the negate, and they go into packs, which means they probably have a normal summon extender, normal summon, and then bring out another one. And yes, they do. They're likely going to go into Mikalis and then search for the Returnia. So we know what they're going for here. Mikalis banishes the Empin, which is actually good for us. And then they're going to go ahead and search for the Returnia here. They're going to set 2 back row and pass. So if we just take a moment here, our banish pile looks pretty good. We have nothing in graveyard. They've got 3 cards in grave, but no Exosisters that can Xyz summon right now. These are both Toucan targets right now, which is good. We can Toucan for Empin and then resummon and get an extra Empin on board to beat over things and get a free spell or trap search, right? That's really good. The problem is with the Returnia. So if we take a look at this card, so if all monsters they control are Exosisters, minimum 1, so they have a face-up Exosister in the Mikalis right now, they can target 1 card I control and banish it, and then Xyz summon with the Exosister monster. So I'm pretty sure they could have activated this. I'm not sure how it works. I haven't used it myself. But because I was dumb and set the evenly matched, I think they can activate this and banish the evenly matched if I try to go battle phase. And that's exactly what I'm going to try to do here. I draw into D-Shifter. I actually don't want to activate D-Shifter here, but they do let me enter battle phase, and then when they see the evenly matched, they scoop. So I'm not sure about that interaction, but I'm pretty sure they could have activated Returnia and banished the evenly. And it wouldn't have been the end of the world because I don't know if they would Xyz summon through into the Magnifica with the Mikalis. But if they could have done that, then that would have been really powerful because they could just really interrupt our summoning because obviously our hand was nothing but normal summons. So this guy was, yeah, Diamond 3, and that was our rank up game. So after we beat him, or he resigned, we went into Diamond 2, but let's get on to the next match now. Alright, in this match, we brick completely, which is really unfortunate. Double D-Fissure, but the opponent is going to activate Maxi in the standby phase, so I'm like, okay, probably running Tearlament, so at least activating D-Fissure is good. If they out the D-Fissure, I've got evenly matched if they don't OTK me, so that's good. They reveal Jack in the hand, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's just like my short that I posted when I was in like either early Diamond or Platinum. The opponent did the same thing. They Jack in the hand, gave me a Robina, and I used that to unbrick my hand. So this opponent is going to grab DD Crow off their duality, and they have nothing to play off of. So we're going to draw for turn, and we finally draw the bird there. And we're going to reveal that we do have map, hard draw the one of, reveal the Robina that they gave us, and they're probably like, okay, I've got nothing because I bricked 2, so they're going to scoop. And that was actually contributing to our win streak there. We take those though. Alright, this matchup, pretty decent opening hand. We are going second though, so unfortunately it's very easy for this to get interrupted. The opponent reveals that they are on Exosister. They grab the Martha, do the summon, Martha, and then 1 from deck. which I believe is Ellis from the deck, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, they're going to search for Sophia, I believe, or Stella, and then summon out Sophia from it, yep. And they got, I think this is full Exosister combo, which is pretty good. I think, you know, if you don't get interrupted with like an Imperm or something, you basically get Magnifica, and you get your spells and traps, right? So it's pretty strong, and they're ending on Magnifica and 2 back row. We draw Book of Moon. We're going to go ahead and attempt to do Extravagance, but the opponent has Ash, which is actually really bad for us. So we have to be very careful here. You may wonder, why don't I activate Unexplored Winds and start tripping their stuff off? Well, the Magnifica has 2 quick effects that we don't want to deal with right now, and the Returnia will allow them to banish a card on our field. So we don't want to summon or activate the Unexplored Winds and have them use the Returnia to banish it. Then we don't get any utility out of it. The saving grace, though, actually, because they didn't XYZ summon this turn and they're not going to XZ summon with this card, you know, if I knew this matchup a little bit better, I may have wanted to activate this and either force this out, or they couldn't even activate it. And then I would be able to resolve all of my birds, because I have every bird in rotation after summoning Robina and getting the Toucan. So on summon of Eaglin, they're going to activate the Magnifica effect, both of them, and they're going to banish the Eaglin. We still got the search, and they're going to be like, okay, hopefully they don't have another bird, but we do. And then they're going to activate Macaulus effect, banish that because it was XZ summoned this turn. So now we're down to our final summon. Can we resolve this without getting in trouble? And no, we can't. The Returnia does shut us down there, and it's going to double banish. So we're left on absolutely nothing. However, at this point, I am comfortable in trying to activate Unexplored Winds. We put back the Empin and the Toucan and draw 2, and we draw into Evenly Matched and Book of Moon. So we don't bother overextending and setting the Book of Moon, because 1 should be hopefully enough. Unfortunately, though, they are going to get Macaulus detach and search for packs, which is going to allow them to get Martha again, so another free extender. And this is not looking too good. The only saving grace here that I have is maybe Book of Mooning the Magnifica, forcing out the Magnifica effect so that I don't get OTK'd, basically. But they get, yeah, basically full combo off here. Going to go into the Magnifica as expected, and I'm actually going to activate the Book of Moon early here to force the Magnifica to XZ summon. So they banish the Unexplored Winds that time, and actually wanted that to happen because it makes my Evenly Matched live, right? I do not want to activate Evenly Matched at the end of this battle phase, because I'm anticipating that they're going to set more cards, and they absolutely do. So on my turn, I draw Empin, which isn't the greatest. I go battle phase into Evenly Matched, and the opponent banishes everything except for the 1 face down. I'm thinking that it's an Imperm, and I'm like, thank God I have this Book of Moon. Sure enough, it is Imperm, and I can go full combo after saving my Eaglin from Book of Moon. The opponent recognized it almost instantly and scooped pretty quickly, so we were able to take that match going second. Alright, in this match, we are going first once again, and our hand is okay because we have Advent to banish Stree with to get Map, which is what we're going to do. The opponent changed Shifter, and I mean, that's totally fine, so we're anticipating they're either on Exosister or Floowandereeze. We get Map, banish Robina, normal summon Eaglin, and get Robina back, so this is pretty standard. Now, the reason why they might want a D-Shifter is because it makes it harder for our Stree to resolve, mainly because we need targets in the graveyard in order for Stree to resolve its effect and thus to continue to summon. So not having any targets in graveyard means Stree will fizzle when summoned. So right now we only have 1 target in D-Shifter, but everything going to the grave is getting banished right now. So I only have 1 use of Stree essentially until the D-Shifter wears off. And I'm not even going to bother activating D-Fissure, because if the opponent is playing D-Shifter, they obviously don't care about their cards being banished, so why would I play D-Fissure? Keep it in my hand just in case I need to activate it to out something when I attack with Empin. I can banish it because it's a useless card. So the opponent does reveal some kind of weird deck. They're on trade-in and discarding a Thunderbird, which triggers to pop our face-down card, and they selected the one that was the Dreaming Town, so we're just going to go ahead and activate that and bring out the Apex. They seem to be hurting though, so I'm going to actually negate the draw, because if they normal summon, I just want to get my Apex back on the field. So keeping them on low cards, and I guess they did brick, so they have nothing to go off of, and they surrender. Our hand is very awkward though. We have to activate Advent, banishing the Empin, hoping to grab Map. Thankfully we do, and we are not interrupted. Activate Map and Unexplored Winds. Reveal the Stree off map, banish Robina, summon Stree, target the Advent, and bring Robina back. When I summon the Stree, the opponent's screen did light up, which indicates to me that they do have an Imperm. And they would either save it for the Robina or the Eaglin. Sure enough, they save it for the Eaglin. I still have my normal summon for turn though, So even though Eaglin's search is shut off, I'm still able to tribute for the Ryza. Now, you may be thinking, why the hell would I do that? That's a very weird play. Nothing on the field to target for the opponent. You have to target your own card, and you're putting an imperm to the top of the opponent's deck. That seems really bad. I absolutely have to do this though, because I'd have no birds in hand, and I need to get my birds off the field into the banish pile to trigger one of them to come back, so I have some extension with map, either during my opponent's turn or back on my turn if I survive the next turn. So that's why we did that. The Stree will get banished. It actually won't go to the top of the deck, because when it leaves the field, its effect is that it will be banished. We do stack the imperm, which is okay, because again, we can play through an imperm with map. We can banish like an Empin here, and then summon the Eaglin. If they negate the Eaglin, we can, we bring back Robina, normal summon Robina for turn, and Robina search Toucan, summon the Toucan, bring back the Empin we ban with map, right? So we have a lot of extension. If they let the Eaglin resolve and we bring Empin, we're still in business anyways because we got Robina. We summon Robina, we bring back Stree, etc. So we were okay. The opponent doesn't have anything engraved though, so it might make resolving that Stree tough unless they put something engraved now. But we do actually put back our own Ryza and get into Pot of Extravagance. The opponent starts with their own Extravagance and draws 2. Then they're going to go ahead and activate Duality, so I'm like, okay, it's probably Floowandereeze. And they reveal double Dimension Fissure, evenly matched. They take evenly, and they're going to evenly for 1. We have no problem banishing the Unexplored Winds, because we do play 2. They're now going to play Terraforming. This guy literally got everything they possibly could need for Floowandereeze, except for the most important part, which is a bird. So without a bird, they are stuck with just map, Unexplored Winds, and 2 face downs. We know one is Imperm, and the logical explanation is the second one is the hard-drawn Dreaming Town, because why else would you set like an Advent or something? Or it could be like a Book of Moon, I guess, too. But we do pot into a book, which is really good, because it's going to allow us to easily dodge the Imperm. Now, I think I make a mistake here. Booking the Eaglin is fine, but with the Robina, I'm going to have to search for Eaglin, because when I tribute over this Eaglin, it's going to get banished, or sent to graveyard and not banished because it's face down. When I search with Eaglin, I should have searched the Ryza again. And the reason is because I know that they're bricked right now. And by having them draw, I'm giving them a chance to draw out of their brick. If I would have searched Ryza, I could have summoned Robina, target the Toucan, and then Toucan, summon, bring the Empin from the banish pile back to hand. So then I have Empin from the banish pile in my hand and Ryza. And then that will allow me to extend further, right? I can bring back the Stree. They have lots of cards in their graveyard now, so I can summon the Stree, banish something, and the Toucan's still on board. I can bring out the Empin and then bring out the Ryza as well. So the reason that that's important is because I summon Ryza, I can put map and I can put Terraforming back on top of their deck and stack it in a way so that they draw map first and then they draw Terraforming. So it completely keeps them bricked. And the fact that I didn't do that was really, really a big misplay. So I go for this double Empin play for some reason instead. The good thing though is that like with this play, I am going to be able to grab Unexplored Winds and the trap off of it. So that is the small saving grace. But yeah, I just wasn't thinking that far ahead to like, oh, I'm actually going to be able to like keep them on nothing by doing the Ryza play. So yeah, that wasn't the greatest. We activate Unexplored Winds, normal summon for turn, getting rid of their map, thanks to Unexplored Winds tributing it off. And they're going to have a chance to top deck into something. But if you know how the Floowandereeze mirror goes, they top deck into a pot, which gets them into a bird, which is pretty good. But again, if you know how the Floowandereeze matchup goes, you know that the turn player has priority and their chain links are always higher than the opponent. So it's not my turn, it's my opponent's turn. So you can see my Eaglin is chain link 2, there's his chain link 1. That is very, very important, because what that means is my Eaglin will resolve to search and summon before theirs does, and I'm able to tribute off their Unexplored Winds before they're able to search with their Eaglin and tribute off my Unexplored Winds with their own Unexplored Winds. So knowing that little interaction is very important. Go back and rewind it, watch it a few times, make sure you understand it, because that could be a make or break for you. But after getting the Apex on board and knowing the opponent is virtually on nothing else, they knew just to scoop it up, because they have no extension past the Eaglin bringing something to hand. They can't summon it, and then they're just bricked again. So yeah, that's how that match went, and the opponent surrendered right away. Hopefully you enjoyed these videos, guys. I think this might be the last one, but if not, I guess enjoy the next one. But yeah, if it is, thank you for watching. Quantum is out.